He say, she say, we say, I say, hearing out them points of views when I see it my way. Yes it goes, yes it knows, maybe so's, probably not, shoulds and coulds, do's and don'ts, your wills and won'ts is how you rock. Politicians and religions on your house, or are you renting? Is you married? Is you single? Meta interest when you mingle, turn out to be someone you into. So how long before the bed get wrinkled? Children when they tripping, is it time out or do you whip them? Opinions and decisions, hunches, intuitions, may or may not get it, cause people's experience different. Check the prejudice at the door. You give the flow, tell the truth if it's sweet or sour, cause the hour we spittin' that fire.
Hello everyone, this is Spittinfire. Ooh, yes, I am back to doing my videos. It's been a long time. Actually, I've been going live stream for about 8 months. Yes, but before that, the first 2.5 years, I was actually doing this. And I'm back to doing it, okay? Because I have to spend time with my family. However, I'm saddened to let one know that Team Kellz has passed again, okay? We know that Team Kellz was close to death 2 years ago, and we were planning the memorial service for the sector, but the sector has completely died. And when you say died, you say, Spittinfire, what are you talking about? Well, when the team has been divided, okay, depleted. That's when you know there's no more Team Kellz. However, you have other people that are Kellz supporters, okay, out here. You have the YTF family, you have the Kellz steppers, and other things like that. So, yeah, but the Team Kellz that's supposed to be actually for R. Kelly and not the blogger's channel is officially dead. Now, here's what I want to say. People have emailed me, okay? But one subscriber had emailed me in particular, and I was talking back and forth. And I'm not the type of person to show emails or text messages or anything like that, because I feel like if anyone emailed me, it's in private. That's what it is, in private. And I cherish that, okay? Everything is not for the internet. However, what I say in emails or in private conversations, I have no problem saying it in public. But I will paraphrase the whole entire conversation to give you guys an idea of what it is that I'm about to tell you. So there are some people who are reluctant and questioned about the direction of Team Kellz, right? And I did not want at the time to tell them that the sector is now dead. I didn't want to say that. But now that they see this video, they can understand why I was responding to the emails the way that I was, is because it's dead. Okay. Now, does that mean people don't support R. Kelly? That's absolutely doesn't mean that. It just means that working together is now dead. However, I want to share something with you guys. I want to tell you guys something, and I want you to really pay attention to it. As I spoke on the email that I just mentioned that I received from a subscriber, it is very easy for us to sit up here and not like someone, and it's easy for us to bash them, and it's easy for us to discredit everything that we think they're doing, or even to blame them for things, because we don't want to blame the ones we get along with or who we love or like or whatever. So we decide to blame. It's easier to blame the one that you don't like. Unfortunately, in real life, sometimes you need not to blame the one you dislike. The one you dislike is already given. It's already shown why you dislike them, or you already have those feelings, okay? Why you dislike the person. You need to start paying attention to the people you do like. You need to really pay attention to the people you're close with and how they interact with you and how they actually take up for you or be there for you when you are for them. You have to understand, is the love you give them reciprocated? Is I love you, you love me back. I take up for you, you take up for me back. Does that happen? You have to ask yourself these questions, because if you, and I know all too well about my involvement with certain individuals on these YouTube streets, if you don't have the same amount of respect given to you as you give one, you need to question yourself about the ones you like. Because the one thing about somebody you don't like, it's a given on your feeling. It's a given of what you see. It's a given that you can always see their flaws. It's a given. But it's hard for us to see the flaws of those we love or like or down with, because we're thinking that we're down with them, we got to come for their defense, or we got to come help. But what happens when you come for one's defense, especially as recently as a week and a half ago? You come to one's defense only to find out that it's not reciprocated, only to find out they're not coming to your defense, only if they're not showing the same love as you shown them. What happens then? Like, you have to really ask yourself those questions, not just on these YouTube streets, but even in real life. I had to ask myself those questions, even with people in my family. I found myself, whether it's on YouTube or whether it's in real life, that I will be down with people. I will be loyal to people. I will be, somewhat friendly, faithful to people, only not to have them showing me that same amount of love, respect, and protection in return. What do? You have to really sometimes step back and analyze these things, because I've always told people on these internet streets not to be surface level thinkers. And I really mean that, okay? And when I say not to be surface level thinkers, it's not just on certain circumstances or situations, but it's in everyday life and relationships, okay? Whatever relationship you have to not be a surface level thinker in that either. Because when you find yourself their way, you will find yourself being taken advantage of. You'll find yourself not feeling appreciated. And things like that, especially when you've shown nothing but concern, when you've given nothing but protection, especially if you protect someone and you come at someone and you take up for someone, only to find out that they don't do that for you. What do? Well, things like that happen every day. And what do you do when it's situations to where you are down with a particular group of people and they're not giving you that in return? Those happen. My situations played out not once, but twice, and just recently on these internet streets. So what happens when it's a subscriber that's feeling that way? What happens then? Because I've often told people that you have the power to change things. You have that. You don't have to. You have the power to make and break a channel. You really have that power to do so. My channel, anyone else's channel, you can. And I know that recently I announced that I'm leaving the Kellz sector. And then I'm not saying that they're dead because I'm leaving. They're just dead for what I see and what's happening and what I experienced within the last several weeks and just recently. And I can tell, okay? And you don't get any warning for these things. You know what I mean? It's a feeling that just comes over you that you understand when it's time for you to let go. But what happens when you are a sub and it's time for you to let go? You have to follow yourself in these same patterns of asking yourself these questions. Do I stay down, or do I realize my self-worth and move on? And sometimes you need to move on. Some people are in your life for a reason. Some people are in your life for a season. And sometimes that season is over within a year, within 2 years, within 1 month, within 2 months, within a matter of weeks. Hell, sometimes on these internet streets in a matter of minutes. But one thing I can tell you is know what it is that you've done. Know what it is that you contribute and know what type of person you was. And if you are all genuine, you know that you will not have to sit up there and not only repeat yourself, but you won't have to sit up there and question yourself and how loyal you was to someone. You know, just last year when a whole debacle came about me and some other individuals in this group, one told me that I'm a very loyal person. And they said that and they were telling the truth. And that's the one thing that I did when I made my inspiration video number 6. It was one of the things where I had to end up stepping back and swallowing that pill of being loyal. You know what I mean? And I realized that loyalty is not on YouTube at all, because you have to understand that people don't know each other other than virtual. But sometimes loyalty is within you, and with me, it's within me. But when you don't get it in return, you know to step away and move on. You have to know that. I won't change being loyal. But what I will do is when I realize that it's not giving back, I move on. As same as I try to tell this subscriber who emailed me, you have to know when loyalty is limited and you have to know when to move on. Okay? Because you have to understand, just as much as you value that person, you are just as much required to be valued. And it shouldn't be no different. Okay? Now, in this, in the death of Kellz, there has been some things going on and been said. Many people have understood what it is that they saw or what it is that they're seeing as we speak within the last several weeks. Well, I say within the last 45 days, 2 months. The change that came about, okay, happened around in October. And we noticed that the shift in Team Kellz had begun. And we didn't even understand it. Now, there's oppositions in this sector as well. But the one thing I can say about the opposition is that they broke away and they stayed true to what it is that they were down with. Some down with one sector, the other down with the other sector, but they all on the same side, okay? But in believing that Team Kellz was wrong and that R. Kelly was guilty. Well, in the Team Kellz sector, it was division, more division, selfishness, division, selfishness, unloyal, selfishness, fake messiahs, selfishness, lying, selfishness, unloyal, untruth, impulse decision making, all this, big mouths, decision making, and everything else. It's all of that in Team Kellz. It's all these different scenarios and things that goes on. And I am not perfect, but I'm not talking about me or particular people. I'm talking about a group of people. A group of people that don't really know what it's like to have or be loyal. They just go with the flow, the bandwagon, and everything else. That just whatever's rocking, that's what they down with. But then you have some people that's upset about that, don't like it, and what do we do? They ask their bloggers what to do. I've had so many emails within the last month and a half that ask me, I agree with you. I agree with you. As if I said anything different than what I've been saying for the last 3 years. I hadn't said anything different. So I don't understand what, if you already been down with me, you don't have to tell me you agree with me, because we've been saying it for 3 years. And what I preach on my channel for the past 3 years being in the Kellz sector was cultural obligation, was teamwork, unify, stay together, follow the law, all these things. But it didn't go in vain. You know, one subscriber had told me, Spittinfire, your work was not in vain. Some of us heard what you said, and we take heed to what it is you're saying. And I understand it, and I'm so appreciative of that. I just think that when you are in this fight for so long, it hurts to see the ones who you were with for so long change abruptly. And I think that you don't get a chance to process that change so fast that it really just be a real disappointment. And it happens. It happens in life. It's part of it. And I want to tell that subscriber that you are worthy. It doesn't matter if you disagree. It's okay to disagree. If we always agree with something, then that means that we're not growing. But what happens when disagreements is confused with loyalty, is confused with the foundation of the fight was supposed to be about? And that's the question that people really need to ask themselves. That is the question. But what happens when you've been in this for so long and others have not, and the accolades just falls the same? Well, that happens as well. So what I want to tell you, to the subscriber who reached out to me, keep your head up, follow your first mind, understand your worth, understand how true you was, and if you decide to fall back, if you decide to let go, understand you did it within reason of what you believe and what you know to be true. You understand? Your eyes are not deceiving you. Okay? You have to understand some things. You can't be a surface level thinker, but what you see sometimes is exactly what it is. Now, at the end of this video, I want to talk about book covers and titles. Book covers are something people say you can't judge a book by its cover. Well, that may be the image of it. Does it resonate with you? Is it interesting looking to you? Does it capture you to want to open it? You understand? But no one has ever said you can't judge a book by its title. Titles are everything. Titles is everything in a book, is everything in a video. Because you have to understand something. The title is what gets people to come to get the book or visit the video. The title of it, not the necessary image, because some people are smart enough to read the title. And if the title is different than what is supposed to be spoken inside, well, you have to ask yourself the reasoning behind that. You have to ask yourself, is there agendas behind that? You have to ask yourself why. Why such titles so different than such imagery of the cover or the video image? See, and the reason why I say videos, because a lot of books are on digital now. And now we do podcasts and we do videos and YouTube blogs and all these things. But you got to be careful with the title. Some say title is a form of clickbait, and that is definitely true. It's to get you to see what it is one is saying, what it is one is mentioning. But the one thing I can tell you, and I can assure you, that I know that even in the death of Team Kellz, some of the members are not fooled by titles. Especially the one that emailed me and was very concerned about titling. See, and the other half of Team Kellz, the one that we are mourning the death of, missed the title. They don't care. They lost their way. They're anxious. And you have to pray for those that feel that way. You have to pray for all in the sector of R. Kelly. And most importantly, you have to pray that the one that they look into as the Messiah, sort of say, the savior of Kellz, can actually pull it off. Some say it's not. Some say they are. It's interesting because you got to remember that was Jesus' journey too. But there are fake prophets out here. You have to ask yourself these questions, and you have to sometimes step back, look at, analyze, and never be a surface level thinker when analyzing information that can potentially change the outcome and save one's life. So in that being said, the death of Team Kellz will always hurt my heart, but I will always scream, free R. Kelly.